So today I want to give you guys an overview and sort of my take on Commerce Plus, which is an event that Shopify recently had, which they title as, quote, a master class in growing and optimizing your business. The setup of the event was as follows. Basically, they had a few hosts that were talking about Shopify in general, and they interviewed some of the owners and marketers of some leading e-commerce brands. I definitely recommend going and checking out the video if you have the time. It's around 2 hours, but I wanted to sort of distill down into like a short, sub 10-minute video, some of my thoughts about Commerce Plus as a Shopify store owner and also developer. So the hosts started out talking about how because of the pandemic and everything that's been going on, global trends in e-commerce have exploded. 150 million people in 2020 shopped online, and also that e-commerce trends and whatnot have sort of advanced in their eyes by around 10 years or so. And so because of this rapid growth in e-commerce, it's sort of intuitive that also the competition would also scale way up in e-commerce as well. So after that beginning part, they moved into their first interview, which was with 3 different store owners. And so they were talking to these store owners, they did very well in 2020, and they were asking them how did you scale your businesses? One of the big things that these people stress the importance of was having a unique selling proposition. And, I've talked about this before in one of my videos. You need to have a reason why the customer should cross the street and buy your brand as opposed to the brand that's right next to them. If you don't have that, it's going to be really hard to be successful in e-commerce. There are so many businesses out there, there's so many brands out there, and customers have such a diverse choice of options now. One of the other main points was the importance of having a really killer product. A lot of the marketers said when you have a killer product, it sort of sells itself. People are much more likely to refer their friends and family to that product. One of the sections of the talk specifically that I think you guys should go check out if you do have the time, there's the woman that was the owner of this probiotics brand, and she was saying when she first created the brand, she actually was thinking about basically throwing everything she knew about e-commerce out the window and really testing assumptions and whatnot. And one of the things that she's found with this brand is actually by increasing the friction for customers to actually go and complete a purchase has counterintuitively made success for the brand. She's very passionate about probiotics in general and really thinks they're the future of health in a lot of ways. And so because of that, she doesn't want to, overpromise on things. They're trying to do responsible reporting and research around probiotics and whatnot and just present that to people. Their hope is in presenting that to people, that people will, say, okay, well, I can see the benefits of probiotics. I trust this company with my health. I trust this company to sell me a probiotic, and the sale will happen naturally, even if there is a lot of friction along that way. I thought that was a really interesting approach to marketing. Something like that, something unique is what it takes to really cut through the noise in the context of this rapidly expanding e-commerce environment. They talked about Online Store 2.0 and how they revealed that and whatnot. They talked about Oxygen and Hydrogen, which is some new tech that's coming to developers of Shopify. They were sort of patting themselves on the back, and rightly so. Online Store 2.0 has really allowed people who aren't developers to really start to customize their product pages and landing pages and everything like that. It's really been cool. One of the big things that they stressed, and this was another really interesting part of the talk for me specifically, they're partnering with TikTok to make sort of a storefront where you can make a storefront on your profile and you can tag products in non-sponsored posts on TikTok. And I'll tell you guys, TikTok is one of these social media platforms that's still in the organic growth phase, right? They haven't really they're not pushing monetization as hard as the other platforms, and because of that, you can really still get lots of organic reach on TikTok, more so than Facebook or an Instagram. If you guys haven't checked out how you could integrate some sort of TikTok strategy for your brand, I would really recommend that. TikTok is more than just people dancing and whatnot. There's serious brands that are marketing themselves on TikTok, and they gave some numbers, right? So apparently in TikTok there's 100 million US users, I think they listed, and then 100 million plus European users. They said 25% of users on TikTok research a product using TikTok. That sounds kind of hard to believe for me, but the central message is that the younger generations especially, right, are more and more gravitating towards social media to inform their product choices. Half of young shoppers in the UK using social media to inform their purchasing decisions. And they also said that 1/3 of young shoppers make purchases through social channels now. In just 2020 alone, Shopify saw a 76% increase on their social media channels, sales channels. So yeah, so that's all great. They then they basically moved on to an interview with Pharrell Williams, who runs a skincare brand with Shopify. A lot of the questions they asked him had to do with like motivation and like self-discipline and all these things, and he gave sort of cliche answers. You know, for instance, like one of the biggest things he learned was how to learn from failure, and also like the importance of surrounding yourself with people who are better at doing things than you, so you rise to that level. And you know, those are sort of cliche answers, but at the end of the day, there's a reason those are cliche answers, right? And it's because they work. Then they started talking about global and international sales. They said 1/4 of all traffic to Shopify stores comes from people outside the country that the store is located in. Shopify is becoming increasingly mindful of the fact that businesses want to sell global. They said that they were looking forward to basically integrating a lot of features that have to do with that. They were sort of, vague about what exactly those features are going to be. So then they moved on to the fact that more and more Shopify stores are wanting to sell B2B instead of direct to consumer. If you're trying to scale your brand and you've had some success in direct to consumer, definitely consider how your brand could move into business to business stuff. They said that they're going to start to integrate more of these B2B features in Shopify's admin. And once again, they were a little vague about how they're going to do that, but I'm definitely amped to hear that because, I think that's definitely been sort of a blind spot for Shopify in the past. And to hear that, they're thinking about these things and doing this, I mean, there's a reason that Shopify stock has gone, sky high in the last 5 years or whatever. And it's because they're a really proactive company that's constantly looking for new opportunities to basically be an all-inclusive e-commerce solution. The final part of the talk, Shopify Plus plans right now, it's exclusive to Shopify Plus. They have access to what's called Shopify Flow. And Shopify Flow is it's obviously super exciting for me as a developer. So what Shopify Flow is basically, it allows you to have certain actions that have taken place on your store trigger other actions, right? And so they gave the example of like, someone buys a product, right? And because the product is a certain type of product, like it needs to be refrigerated or whatever, it applies the tag like refrigeratable or whatever to the shipping order, and that way like whoever gets the shipping order and whenever they send it out knows that it needs to be refrigerated, and they adjust accordingly. Anytime that you can automate those sorts of things as a developer, like that gets you excited, obviously, because it's just more efficient for everyone, and everybody wins there. They basically said Shopify Flow, which has been exclusive to Shopify Plus plans, is probably in the future is going to start to come down to regular Shopify plans. So yeah, like I think you guys are going to be really excited if you're not on Shopify Plus and you're looking to get access to Shopify Flow. That's definitely a highlight of the talk, the fact that is coming down to regular plans. Overall, I thought Commerce Plus was it was great to watch. If this is just the main points from it. There's some other stuff, and it's interesting to see a lot of the business owners and marketers and whatnot that are behind these big brands, and hear them talk about what their intentions were with certain marketing campaigns and all that sort of stuff. So if that stuff interests you guys, I would definitely recommend that you go check out the talk. So yeah, thanks for checking out this video, guys. On this channel, I try to make videos covering everything that I think would help people getting into Shopify or using Shopify. In my experience as a Shopify developer and Shopify store consultant, and also a Shopify store owner, that covers theme reviews, app reviews, coding tutorials, videos like this where I cover news that's happening with Shopify. So if that appeals to you, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and other than that, I'll see you in the next video, guys.